As the US and Russia run rival air campaigns in Syria, military officials have agreed to a discussion to deal with the growing risk of collisions. The officials will hold a video conference tomorrow to work out how to stay out of each other's way as they pound targets in the war-torn country. The US Defence Secretary also questioned Russia's motives for launching airstrikes. As Anne Barker reports.
It's 2 weeks since Russia began airstrikes in Syria in what it claimed was a campaign to target Islamic State militants. But as well as hitting ISIS targets, the Russian jets are now also posing a threat to the US-led campaign, according to the Pentagon.
The coalition pilots changed course and decided to approach a bombing run from a different direction, simply because of there were Russian aircraft operating nearby.
US Army Colonel Steve Warren, based in Baghdad, says there's already been one incident where US pilots took diversionary action to avoid Russian fighter planes. Now, on Saturday, Russian and US pilots came within visual identification range. Indeed, he says Russian airstrikes have also forced the United Nations to cease humanitarian operations in Syria because of the added danger.
I find these airstrikes to be reckless and indiscriminate. They are having exactly the opposite effect of what Russia has claimed that they want to do. They've claimed publicly that they want to fight ISIL. In reality, these reckless, these indiscriminate, these irresponsible airstrikes have had the effect and will have the effect only of prolonging the suffering of the Syrian people.
Washington says the air incidents underscore the need for proper air safety protocols between the former Cold War enemies. The US Defence Secretary is Ash Carter.
Even as we continue to disagree on Syria policy, we should be able to at least agree on making sure our airmen are as safe as possible.
Russian and US officials held preliminary talks on air safety on Saturday, the same day as the latest air incident. More talks are planned for tomorrow. The Defence Secretary addressed the issue after annual talks with Australian ministers in Boston.
As Australian pilots have recently begun flying with us in Syria, our counter-ISIL fight will proceed unchanged as we continue to urge Russia to change its failing strategy. In the meantime, Russia must act professionally in the skies over Syria and abide by basic safety procedures.
For its part, Russia says its air force has hit 86 terrorist targets in Syria in 24 hours, including several linked to the Islamic State group. But the US accuses Moscow of targeting moderate US-backed rebels and seeking to prop up Bashar al-Assad's regime. Ash Carter says the Russian strikes appear to be in areas where there are no Islamic State forces. He's attacked Russia's entry into Syria, saying it'll only prolong the conflict and backfire.
We're not able at this time to associate ourselves more broadly with Russia's approach because it is wrong-headed and strategically short-sighted.
For its part, an Islamic State spokesman has vowed to attack Russia and defeat it and called on Muslims everywhere to launch a jihad against the Russians.
Anne Barker reporting.